Hey guys, it's Ashley with 3R Sales and Service. Today we're taking a look at the 8.5 by 20 Monsoon enclosed trailer package. So this includes 2 of our 8-gallon hot water pressure washers and an 11-gallon a minute gas engine soft wash system. So I'll have you move in a little bit closer. I'll go over all the details inside. The Monsoon package on our website usually starts as a base package. If the customer did include all of the options that we had shown on there. So up front, we've got our 2 3508 HydroTek SS pressure washers. These are hot water units, so they run off of diesel fuel for the burner and gas for the engine. We've got Honda GX 690 engines and the big T-Series General pumps. Down below you can see we do bleeder valves. We make the key switch accessible. We have the oil drain hoses all accessible, so very easy to maintenance and keeps everything nice and clean and uniform. Pressure washers have temperature control on them. You can operate with or without the burner on, or you can just regulate the temperature that you're using that burner system at. The other thing you can see clearly, we have our ventilation system. It goes right up through the roof for the burner. What you can't see is on the back side, the exhausts actually go down through the floor and then out through the driver's side underneath the trailer. So we have all of the exhausts being out, meaning that there's no fumes going in here and most of the heat is being dissipated outside as well. Up in the nose, you can see the batteries for the pressure washers. We actually remove the batteries for accessibility purposes. So if you need to change battery, charge a battery, just access for whatever reason, the batteries are just right up here. The surface cleaner is also tied up front here, making it very easily accessible. We just use a couple hooks, keep that in place. On the other side, we have our 26-gallon winterizing tank. This tank will winterize your whole trailer system, both pressure washers, your soft wash system, all your hose reels, and even all of the fittings, plumbing, all of that good stuff. So that's how we configure it to work to keep everything completely winterized. Behind it, you'll see the 2-inch tank drain that we have that's draining our 525-gallon tank. This valve controls that drain. So you can easily wash your hands or fill a bucket or whatever you need to do from the outside of the trailer where the discharge is. We also have the flooring. This is probably the biggest space you'll be able to see our flooring. There's lots of extra space in this trailer since it's 8.5 feet wide. And of course the layout that we used for it. So that flooring just keeps the wood floor protected. And then we just have all of the trim that goes around here to keep everything in place, keep it tidy and keep it looking clean. The other thing that you'll notice on this trailer, the customer chose to upgrade the wheels. So we have a nicer aluminum wheel and lugs that we put on this one. This trailer also has a ramp door. We can change. We can either do barn doors where it's 2 doors that open, or we can do the ramp door where it goes up and down. That's usually a customer preference, or sometimes it's trailer availability, depending on what time of the year it is or how soon the customer needs this. Back here we have our soft wash system. So this is the Comet P40 diaphragm pump with a Honda GX 200 engine. This has a 300-foot hose on it on one of the Titan 18-inch electric rewind hose reels. And then we've got our premium guide on all of the hose reels for this system. For the soft wash system, we've got a 55-gallon bleach tank and a 16-gallon surfactant tank. All of that is hooked up to our metering system and the remote rinse system. So in the metering system, you control your water, your surfactant, and your bleach. And then with the remote, it basically rinses out your bleach line and turns off your surfactant line so that you can just spray water whenever you want to go into rinse mode. The manifold that we have above here is for our downstream soap injector for the hot water pressure washers. So you can pull, from your Soap 1 tank, which is what our surfactant is, Soap 2 tank, which is what we have over here on the opposite side, another 16-gallon soap tank, or Soap 3, which is what this little handy thing is over here. I don't know if you can get back here to see. So Soap 3 gives us the option to take this dip tube out and just drop it into whatever random kind of soap you have for a special application that you need to use, or this hose is long enough that you can actually drop this down into your water tank and rinse out your injector if you needed to as well. And then that just drops in to this PVC right here. It's got a cap on the bottom so it doesn't drip all over what's below, keeping everything as tidy as possible. We'll flip around here. Behind the soap number 2 tank, we've actually got a transfer pump. So you can take these hoses here, kind of show you a little bit if I can take it apart easily. There's 2 different ends. So we have this end that has the filter on it. You're gonna drop that down into your concentrate that's outside of the trailer. You're gonna take this end here and put it into whichever tank you need to distribute your soap to or your chemical to. So if you want to fill soap tank number 2, you just pop it over here. If you want to fill your bleach tank, you just pull this hose over there and drop it down into your bleach tank. And once that's all done, you always want to rinse out your transfer pump and then just hang everything back up on the hook that's provided there. We have our 8-drawer toolbox, keeps most of your miscellaneous accessories in place. And then we've got a key that locks it, that way your drawers don't fly open while you're driving. And we have all of our pressure washer and inlet hose reels here. So these are all 12-inch reels. They'll hold up to 300 feet of pressure washer hose, but we provide 200 feet on each reel. The top reel is for pressure washer number 1, which is labeled on the other side over there. Number 2 has a gray hose just so we can distinguish which pressure washer is which whenever you've got everything pulled out and 200 feet away. And then we have 100 foot of the garden hose at the bottom. There are soap injectors attached to both of these reels, and you can pull through the downstream manifold simultaneously or individually. You can pull different soaps, so kind of works out nice that way. Whenever we stack these hose reels up, we're always using extra supports to keep them in place because they can get a little bit wonky whenever they're on their own. So we do lots of extra fabricating to make sure everything as secure as possible. This is a very beefy trailer, and of course it is 8.5 feet wide, so we have lots of extra space, lots of aisle room to move in and out of here, making it, that was actually the number 1 reason the customer went with this particular package. And then the only other things I think I didn't mention yet was with the water tank. So we have the 525-gallon water tank, and both pressure washers are hooked up to cool bypass through that tank. So when you let off the trigger, it's recirculating your water through that tank, keeping your pump nice and cool, keeping it all protected. We've got the float valve inside that tank so it won't overflow. And then we've actually got an additional filter so that whenever you're pulling from your water source before it goes into your tank, it actually gets filtered as well. That just keeps your, helps keep your float valve from getting clogged while you're on the job site. So otherwise, you can see on the other side, we have some hooks. We have all of our trigger guns on there. Try to keep as much as we can off of the floor, keep the aisle spaces nice and clear. So if you have any questions on this package, you can go to the link that's in the description. That'll take you right to our webpage with more information, or you can just give us a call. Thanks.